Kansas City Chiefs have signed former Bills punter Matt Araiza. We're going to talk about what that could mean for the Cincinnati Bengals or another team who's in need of a punter right now on No Butts About It. Hey everyone, welcome to No Butts About It. If you haven't been around here before, I am Josh Butts. I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. We talk about all the biggest news stories around the NFL, especially if you're a Bengals, Steelers, pretty much fan of any team. We've got something for you. Now, as I said, we're going to be looking at this from the context of the Cincinnati Bengals because that's my favorite team. But there are tons of other teams around the league that are looking at possibly needing a punter. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers are another one. But we're going to look at this from the Bengals lens, but there's still stuff here that you can pull to maybe make your own video or maybe just have it in the back of your mind for that barroom conversation. So let's first look at what the Bengals have and how we got to this point. The Bengals have been looking for a new franchise lockdown punter since franchise punter Kevin Huber was released and then later retired. He had been the punter since 2009 and he was released midway through the 2022 season. The Bengals had gone out and signed fan favorite and very popular punter Drew Chrisman. He's known for his DoorDash videos, his videos where he goes to local high schools and just kicks punts, kicks field goals. So this was a very popular signing. They brought him in midway through the 2022 season to replace Huber, but his position as the starter was short-lived, and the Bengals did end up bringing in some competition for him. That competition was in the form of a 2023 sixth-round draft pick, Brad Robbins, out of Michigan, and he ended up winning the starting job over Drew Chrisman in camp, and now Drew Chrisman is just out there kicking field goals at high schools and making DoorDash deliveries. Robbins brought many fans hope. He also brought along with him a beautiful handlebar mustache and a leg that could kick punts with huge hang time. The problem though was the distance wasn't always there. Of course, he was just a rookie, so there's always room for improvement, but definitely didn't impress. We didn't necessarily gain anything over what we had with Drew Chrisman. Now, I know some people don't know punter stats a lot because they're not talked about a whole lot. So let's kind of break this down here for a minute. So Brad Robbins averaged 44.3 yards on his punts in 2023, and he landed 20 within the 20. Now, looking at Kevin Huber's last 3 full seasons, I took all of his numbers and averaged them out, and he averaged 46.3 yards per punt in his last 3 full seasons. And he got 23 punts on average within the 20 in those last 3 seasons. So as you can see, there was actually kind of a downgrade from what we had with Huber in his twilight years to what we ended up getting with Brad Robbins in his rookie year. Again, though, like I said, there can be some improvement, but not necessarily what we were looking for when we drafted a punter. So that's all context. That's where the Bengals are at. Bengals have Brad Robbins. They had Drew Chrisman. They're trying to replace Kevin Huber. That's what we know. How does Matt Araiza fit into this situation? What does his signing with the Kansas City Chiefs have to do with this? Well, let's talk about Matt for a second. Old Matty boy. He was a popular punter coming out of college last season and was originally drafted by the Bills, and he fell into legal troubles, which if you know that story, cool. If you don't, you can go look it up somewhere else. I don't want to get into the logistics of it and say something wrong and then get into legal trouble. Go look for that somewhere else. But he has been cleared of all legal troubles, so he's good to go. No one is coming after him right now, and so the Kansas City Chiefs decided to sign him. So as I said, he was a very promising candidate coming into the NFL draft. His nickname is Punt God, so they're not bringing him in as a practice squad guy. I would fully expect that Matt Araiza is the guy in Kansas City next season. He's already signed his contract. He's good to go. And Tommy Townsend, who is the Chiefs all-pro punter, is expected to be a free agent next month. And with the Chiefs signing Araiza, that has pretty much been written on the wall. It's clear they're not going with Townsend next season. They believe Araiza is their future at the punter position. And I think Tommy Townsend isn't going to be willing to be in a competition to maintain his spot when he can go somewhere else. So making this video, I thought it was really funny because a bunch of the Chiefs fans online when I was doing research were talking about how Tommy Townsend's on the downfall. He had a down year. This is good. They're moving on from him. He's fallen apart. So Tommy Townsend's down year, he averaged 47.1 yards and had 20 punts in the 20. But in 2022, he averaged 50.4 yards and had 22 punts within the 20. So Tommy Townsend's down year, his bad year, his falling apart year is still better, or at least on par with Brad Robbins and Kevin Huber and Drew Chrisman. So this guy's supposed worst, is still better than our current guy's best, supposedly. Tommy Townsend last year was on a 1-year contract where he was paid $2.6 million, which is a decent amount of money for a punter. And I think he earned it. He's all pro. Definitely a very popular punter, very popular guy. Fans seem to love him with the Kansas City Chiefs, other than the ones that were talking about how he's falling apart for some reason. I think those people just don't know ball or don't understand the position or something. But I think Tommy Townsend is going to get a ton of money wherever he goes for a punter. He's not going to get like a $30 million deal, but he's going to get some bank. Now, I think that this Matt Araiza signing, pushing Tommy Townsend out of Kansas City, could be great for the Bengals because the Bengals should go after this guy. Tommy Townsend, even at his worst, would be a clear upgrade at the punter position, and he would be one we've been looking for ever since Kevin Huber was released, ever since Kevin Huber kind of began that downfall. I think I would rather lock this guy down as we know what he is than betting on Brad Robbins or someone else getting better. We know what Tommy Townsend can be, and why not have the best punter in the NFL on the best team in the NFL? What's even better is Townsend is young for a punter. He's only 27. He was undrafted in 2020, so that's the same year that Joe Burrow came into the league. Huber was 37 when he was released. So we theoretically have a decade of great punts coming from Tommy Townsend if we sign him, or whatever team signs him. Whatever team signs him is theoretically going to have him for a very long time. I think we can count on at least 5 years worth of great punts coming from this young man. I say young man, but he's older than me, but he's young for the NFL. So we could lock him down for a few years and have a franchise punter again. Don't worry about it. Why are we worrying about punter? Let's not even think about it. Let's take care of special teams. We've already got Evan McPherson. Lock down a punter, and let's just call it a day. Tommy Townsend, you need to be in Cincinnati. Now, with the salary cap going up, the Bengals gained about $8 million more to play with, and that could be used with T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase, wherever. But the Bengals almost never use their entire salary cap. They usually let some money roll over, which is good, but use $3 to $5 million a year. Use just a little bit of that rollover and just put it towards the punter. Please, don't go $5 million is probably a little too much. I'm kind of accounting for inflation here as well, but $3 to $4 million, I can see that going towards a punter of his caliber, and it would be well worth the investment because in the AFC North, we play great defenses. And even if your offense is amazing, they're going to have issues. They're going to have bad games, and you need a punter who can put the opposing offense in bad field position, which Tommy Townsend is great at. I mean, he was averaging 50-yard punts just 2 years ago. That is amazing. To completely flip the field like that on these guys, that's what we need more of if we're going to succeed in the AFC North on this franchise. Now, there are going to be people out there who are going to say, well, what would you do with Brad Robbins after 1 year? Why are you letting go of him? Well, we let go of Drew Chrisman after one season, and granted, we didn't use a draft pick on him, but, I mean, also, he didn't really impress. I mean, we have an opportunity to effectively go get the Pat McAfee of our times for probably relatively cheap for where we are in the NFL, cap wise and all that. I mean, why not go after him? Why not just go get him? We had an opportunity to go get him like a year ago before he signed that 1-year deal, and we didn't. Now he's definitely not going back to Kansas City because the Matt Araiza signing has helped us kind of push him out of Kansas City. And now it's anyone's game. And like I said, this doesn't just have to be for the Bengals. The Steelers could go after him. Another team that needs a punter could go after him. If you are a fan of a team that needs a punter, I would be advocating for your team to go after Tommy Townsend, especially if you're in a position where you're a championship caliber team. Championship caliber teams have good special teams. It's just a part of the game. It's an overlooked part of the game, but it is a necessary component of the game, especially in divisions with strong defenses where a punter is needed. I mean, think about it this way, Bengals fans. Imagine if, so there were times the Bengals offense was shut down by the Steelers defense, TJ Watt and those guys. Imagine if Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph or Mitchell Trubisky or whoever was the quarterback at that time was on the opposite side of the field, like on their own 10. They're starting every drive on their own 10. That would be a lot easier to stop and keep points off the board. Effectively, what I'm trying to do here is help the defense out by getting a good punter on special teams. And I think Tommy Townsend is that guy. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe, and let me know what other videos you want to see. Do you want to see more punter videos? They're kind of overlooked. Let me know what you think about this signing, though. No buts about it. Have a great night, day, evening, whatever.